And we're back live with another podcast. Jeff and Mike here. Got a good amount to talk about. Obviously, playoffs going on. The Flyers made a hiring. Kind of our opinion of the playoffs so far and everything. So we can kind of just jump right into it. And the Flyers have hired the new coach, which kind of came to a shock to most of us, because I would have thought they would have waited until maybe after the playoffs. Or
because originally,
at least once the first round might have ended.
Well, because they did. Someone made an announcement, or I think
because
it was even Chuck
it came
Fletcher,
out
who made the announcement a couple weeks ago.
That
because this came out before media day.
Yeah, it just came out that they asked the Rangers or whoever for if they could talk to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they haven't really heard much else of it afterward.
Right.
And then I got the text.
But then the news out of nowhere kind of broke the other day that the Flyers were talking, got permission to speak to Alain Vigneault, who they, of course, ended up hiring. So Alain Vigneault is officially the 21st head coach in franchise history. The announcement came from the Flyers and Twitter page and all over yesterday afternoon.
It was a total shock to me because Mitch texted me. He's like, "I guess the Flyers don't have leaks." Or hold on, I'll bring up the actual text.
So while you do that, the deal is $25 million for over 5 years.
That says, I guess the Flyers still don't leak too much. And he didn't send me this. Like, what are you talking about? So I went to Twitter. I was like, oh, the Flyers hired Vigneault.
That's funny. I like that.
Because that was the way with under Hextall, is that you never really heard any rumors or anything. But
you really didn't hear anything.
But I'm assuming he was kind of their second kind of choice behind Quenneville.
I agree with. I want to get your opinion on this. And then I'll go after you.
For me, I think the Flyers make this hiring. Some might say it's safe. It might have been the safe kind of hire to go with, for two main reasons. I guess his record and everything kind of stands for itself. Yeah, that's not one of the reasons I'm saying.
Right, he does have.
Besides that,
as for that record, he does have 2 Stanley Cup final appearances, 3 51 seasons, and 8 100-point campaigns. He also was a Jack Adams Trophy winner. I believe he's the same year he helped lead the Canucks to the President's Trophy in 2011. I want to say, I could be wrong about that year, but
he had some rocky years near with the Rangers, but.
With Vancouver, he was superb.
Yeah, the beginning
tailed
with the
off
Rangers
towards the end, and then Rangers right away. He was great. He took them to the Cup Finals.
We'll get to that a little later.
Yeah, exactly.
When we talk about the playoffs, we're going to talk about that.
And then
get into that a little bit.
But you continue.
But for me, as I was saying, like the 2 main reasons I think this hiring happens by Chuck Fletcher is, one, Vigneault is an offensive-minded coach. I think for one, this might have also been from upstairs, homegrown in what's his face.
Dave Scott.
I
love how I know who you're talking about every time.
That obviously the attendance isn't what it was before, and if you bring in an offensive-minded coach, I would say maybe more the average kind of sports fan in Philadelphia might not know the name Vigneault yet. They might see his record once it's reported and everything. It's like, oh, but the offensive-mindedness would mean they're gonna possibly put up more points, be more offensive, more pushing and everything, which would make more people want to come to games. And also, kind of like Quenneville, I'm thinking for Fletcher, he's thinking, if I get a bigger name head coach, maybe I can get some of these big name free agents this offseason to come in. They obviously missed out on Quenneville. I'm assuming you have people who say, I want to play for Quenneville. Yeah. I don't know if that's really the case for Vigneault yet, but there's probably some people that are like, I wouldn't really mind playing for Vigneault. But
honestly, I could really see, depending on who the free agent is.
Could see that.
I could see some free agents.
I could see Chuck Fletcher using that as like when he was talking to some of the free agents, his little thing is like, well, we have this, we have Vigneault now.
We got AV now. So it's like, hey, you don't have to worry about Hextall.
Or Scott Gordon. But we're trying something new here. We're trying to compete now. We got a young team coming up. So
and Vigneault obviously is a coach who wants to win now. Yeah, he's always been that way.
Which would make you believe that the Flyers are gonna this offseason be
very active
to be that way.
I think that during so this is a big step.
Why the Rangers got rid of him while they're doing the rebuild.
Yeah, so honestly, that kind of makes sense. For not only that, but to be fair,
I think those are the two. But I think those are the two main reasons why this hiring happens.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, like you said, his resume speaks volume. 2 Stanley Cup final appearances, 351 seasons, 800-point campaigns. Jack Adams Trophy, President's Trophy. One thing I do like, excuse me, he does hold his players accountable. So, for example, like let's say if there's some bad on ice habits by the Flyers within the first week or two, you should expect it's gone by the end of the month. Yeah, easily, if not even like the very next week or two.
Right.
So that's kind of one thing that's kind of nice. And then also something that does speak out to me is, and there's a tweet by Bill Meltzer. He's been tweeting so much; it's crazy to keep up. More specifically, it was about the assistant coaches.
Oh, the one that you talked about before coming on to the podcast. Bill Meltzer.
He said, "We'll see where it goes, but it is worth noting that Vigneault has had veteran assistant coaches with previous NHL head coach experience on staffs in Montreal with Dave King, Vancouver, Rick Bowness, New York Rangers, Scott Arniel, and Lindy Ruff. Would not be a surprise if Terry Murray moves from the Phantoms assistant coach to the Flyers assistant coach. Also, that means basically it doesn't look good for guys like Ian LaPerriere or Chris Knobloch. Well, what do you think about someone like Rick Wilson? Because you argue, I think he's more than a veteran guy.
Sure,
he's a very great defenseman assistant coach, and I think he helped turn things around a little bit. Sure, there's still some work.
There's still some things.
Yeah, but I overall I think he did a good job.
Because he was the guy that Fletcher hired, right?
Yes,
I did like him, but
I
at the
liked
same
him.
Time, he changed every. That's just a weird thing I find.
Right,
he changed every pair except for the Robert Haig, Rocco Gudis pair. That's the only pair that ever stayed the same.
Right,
every
which
other pair
was
changed
curious,
every once in a while,
for sure. But I agree. I like him. I liked him for the most part. There's some minor flaws.
Some things where he's got a Hextall tendency where he might favor a veteran over a young kind of
So
talent.
here's where it comes to question. So, because 3 assistant coaches, one should have been gone a long time ago. Obviously, Ian LaPerriere.
I think all of them are probably gone if Fletcher's going to start from scratch.
Right, and which I wouldn't mind because they're all still Hextall guys. Ian LaPerriere, he should be gone. Ken Dillenbaugh, I don't know how I feel about him because he was the LA Kings goalie coach for a little while.
Yeah.
We had a great one, Jeff Reese, but look what happened there. Now he's been happily in Dallas, I'm sure.
And look how well Dallas's goaltending has done.
Yeah, it's been superb. So I miss Jeff Reese every day, but some coach who's in St. Louis helped ruin his career in Philly.
Yeah, he's up 2-1.
Against the Winnipeg Jets of all teams. And we'll get into the playoffs a little bit later. But here's an interesting one. Chris Knobloch,
I think he's gone.
Where do you put him? Do you get rid of him or do you keep him?
I think he's gone just because of how the power play didn't really
Right,
improve.
and that's what...
Because when we did our season review on our last podcast, if you want to check that out, it's on our YouTube page, the Mike and Mitch podcast, and on Twitter. But we kind of talked about that and that the Flyers' power play went down rankings-wise this past season than the season
in
before.
A bad way.
Yeah, last season was like right in the middle, like 15.
16.
And they were like,
it dropped down to what, 23?
Yeah, it dropped down to 20. No.
Or around there.
26.
26.
23rd was the penalty kill, I think.
That's right.
Either way, they're both in the 20s. They could both use
Either way, it's
they
not
could
good.
both use some improvement. Let's just put it at that.
But
I think he is probably gone.
Right.
Which, I mean...
Sorry, go ahead.
Hextall took...
He took risks.
Huge risk.
Yeah.
One, hiring a coach straight from college.
Yeah.
Coming in. And then hiring a guy that was particularly in juniors. I mean, he did work with Connor McDavid in the juniors.
I think that's a huge reason why that Hextall signed him. Because he was the head coach of the Erie Otters.
And that he's one of these more analytically driven guys where he's gonna make these weird kind of plays.
Yeah.
But near the end, I got really confused with it. The way they used Drew. They took him away from his spot.
I know. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's why I would probably get rid of him.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Honestly, I think we just need
because I think that's probably why the Flyers power play struggled so much.
Yeah.
And then near the end, they put Veroni on the second unit.
No, he's not a power play guy.
No,
you know, in the AHL, yeah, but this is in the AHL.
No, and if you want to use a guy, if you're trying to say he's like a net fronts presence kind of guy, do you have other guys I'd rather put there?
I'd rather have Sam Marin at the net than Phil Veroni.
I'd rather have Raffle. I've been saying that for years. I'd rather have Raffle there just because it's one of the stronger forwards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have.
But imagine just having like someone like Sam Marin. It's like, I can't see, neither can I.
Yeah, that's what the Bruins do with Zdeno Chara.
It's so annoying.
At least what they used to do. Yeah, because that's what they always did. They either put him at the point because he has the right shot,
or they put him in front of the net.
Or they put him right in the front of the net.
I will say this though. I think really the only assistant coach I'm keeping is Rick Wilson.
I think that's probably what it's going to.
And I would love that because the Flyers need a new goalie coach. Absolutely need a new penalty kill coach. I would prefer a new power play coach besides Malbach, because my thing is I'm tired of the way the Flyers power play has looked for years now. It's way too slow. The passes are not crisp. Yeah. It's way too predictable, and every team knows what's happening. Even though they get scored on from time to time on against the Flyers, it doesn't matter. The power play is way too slow, and the players, they need to work on their passes. I don't know. It's something about the power plays. They have more open space, and yet their passes aren't as sharp. But they're not as hard. They're not on the tape.
This is the other thing, too.
Yes.
If you do there's a good and a bad to this.
Yeah.
If you liked how the Hacksaw was with the defenseman Provorov and Ghost chipping in and everything, even Myers when he came up for a little bit, coming into the zone and everything, taking chances, that's what Vigneault does. But at times in the Rangers, he did that. Defenders did that a little too much and were caught going the other way.
Yes. That I despised.
Which was also kind of the problem with the Flyers at times too, under Hacksaw.
Yeah.
So that's another kind of, if you're going to put some, because we've already said how good he is, there's still a little iffiness with him, but
yeah.
But I guess you can kind of say that with anyone. Even Laviolette never really was great at handling goaltenders.
Yeah,
because that's why we traded. That's why we got rid of Bobrovsky and we brought in Brizgalov.
Yep.
Because he wanted Brizgalov.
Brizgalov.
He still has a shutout streak for the Flyers.
He does.
That still spans.
Amazing. So those are definitely some takeaways, and then let me go to because someone who obviously has a very great reputation in Philadelphia's community, Flyers wise.
Because when I was thinking of it before, like after it, like thought of over a little bit, like a day or so, because it's been a little less than a day, but I let it sink in a little bit, and I was thinking, kind of, they're probably going to be like the Phillies a little bit this offseason, in a way, and that I don't think they're going to say they want to spend stupid money, but they have money to spend, and now
it will help. AV coming to Philly will help.
Yeah,
that I agree with.
Now you can have him in your pitch to your players, other than being, hey, I mean, that's a hit or miss if you want to be in a big market like Philadelphia, because I know some people hate.
You either hate them or you love them.
Well, I'm saying more of the media, because because when you're here, like even Brizgalov, he came from Arizona. He came from Arizona, where there wasn't really the greatest amount of
even when he was in Anaheim, there wasn't that much media. But when he comes to Philly, it's
a
that's why I'm happy that Vigneault got experience in New York with the Rangers at MSG,
because they're just as bad as the Flyers.
Oh yeah, if not even worse. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah, but anyway, so because speaking of media, one of the more respected guys as a member of the media for the Flyers, Bill Meltzer, of course.
And another thing. This is kind of Flyers media related, but did you see John Bork's out of Comcast Sports?
NBC Sports Philly.
Same thing. But
why is that?
I don't know, but Mitch and Matt and I were kind of talking about this. I wonder if Charlie might get the call, if they might hire Charlie.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Just because, what's his face is there now? I forget. Travis.
Yeah,
Travis is there now, so I wonder if he
question.
brings in Charlie. Even though I don't think he'd want to be kind of the
Broad Street Hockey.
No, I mean I don't think he's gonna want to be the kind of John Boric host kind of thing. I think he wants to be more like an analyst. He would want to be more of an analyst.
Yeah,
kind of
well,
person.
that's why.
And he does have some TV experience. He's been on there before. I think a couple.
Who, Charlie?
Charlie, yeah.
Really?
A couple of Philly Sports Talk and ABC. I think he's done a couple.
I didn't
times.
know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for him. But yeah, no, because
he's got the experience. He's got the experience and knowledge too. So.
But no, honestly, if they offered Charlie, I think that'd be great for him. And stick taps to him. But
that's just what we were thinking about. Like, I wonder
I think that'd be awesome. Because obviously he's a very intelligent guy, and
we always quote him whenever we're on here.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, and I talked to him a few times at the press box, and he's a very nice guy, very respectable as well, and and he knows his stuff. And it's amazing, and and
that's why we bring him up here. We agree with most of the stuff he says.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like and he brings up points that sometimes you don't even think about. It's like, oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, but here's another thing too. I just thought of with the Vigneault hiring, those few Flyers fans that were saying to get out of the whole system of hiring.
Yeah,
that happened twice now.
It did.
With their GM and their head coach.
Yes, it did. But
so they cannot be quiet. Yes. The other ones saying to Drew and them should be traded. They're still here.
Yeah, great.
They're staying here.
But another respected member of the media, Bill Meltzer.
Yes, as we just quoted a little earlier.
Yes, because he was at the he was there when Chuck Fletcher was talking and everything. And the Flyers, they are going to have an official announcement
Thursday morning.
I cannot watch that. I'm sad. That's all right.
I can't watch it either.
I can't work. I'll watch it on replay. Anyway, no, because I just like to watch.
I'll just get the
the main
gist
points
of it from Twitter.
Exactly.
The people we just mentioned.
But so because Meltzer a day ago got tweeted a quote from Chuck Fletcher saying Scott Gordon did a good job for the Flyers, came in under tough circumstances. When I spoke to him this morning, he was disappointed. I told him to take a couple weeks, then we'll talk again. The Lehigh Valley job is his if he wants it. We didn't get into it. But if I'm Scott Gordon,
I would maybe test the market
I would definitely test the market because you got to see the type of coach Gordon is. I think he's an NHL coach.
Yeah, and there's that, and there's possibly could be more firings. Because Mitch made a good point. Because I wonder if after the playoffs, possible more firings.
Possibly. Also, LA is expected to make what's his name? Tom McClellan, their head coach. And if they haven't already, I can't remember. So Tom McClellan most likely, if it didn't already happen, most likely to LA. So I think Buffalo wouldn't be a bad spot for Gordon. Because I know they need a head coach.
I think we kind of mentioned that before too.
We probably did.
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay, I honestly couldn't remember. Dude, it's been so long. And
it was just me and Mitch talking over the weekend, and that Mitch kind of maybe made a good point in that if the Leafs were to lose, I guess we can kind of get to
let's get it now
when we get into the playoffs. But
I'm sorry, playoff spots. Yeah.
Because I'm talking about the Leafs, but
yes.
But I was just thinking about this just because of other jobs, but I want because Kyle Dubas and
not Shanny.
What?
Shanahan?
No, what's the coach?
Babcock.
Babcock. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, I got confused. I'm like, who are we talking about here?
They're not really seeing eye to eye.
Really?
Dubas is more analytically driven, and Babcock is more old school. So I think there's been a lot of clashing between the two, and I wonder if they were to lose the series again and lose out in the first round again,
who would get fired?
What?
Who would get fired then? Babcock?
Maybe. I doubt it. That might be a dumb move, but
so that's a great question.
Mitch and I were talking about that this weekend.
Honestly,
the only reason why that was just brought up is because Dubas and Babcock don't see eye to eye.
I mean, as much as that really does suck, and you want a lot of trust between your coach and GM, you want a strong relationship. I think no matter what, you gotta fight through it because that's probably one of the honestly the best coach in hockey, better than Quenneville, I think. Not by much, but he's they're neck and neck. And then for Dubas, he's one of the best GMs in all of hockey right now. I don't know if he's the best, but he's getting there.
It depends how he handles Marner.
I agree, dude. All right, we got to get in the playoffs sooner rather than later because I want to talk about Mitch Marner.
I think we kind of talked all we really can about when the Flyers
Vigneault?
hiring Vigneault.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have any last minute really things. We kind of touched on
not
most
necessarily.
of it.
All right. So we'll get into...
But
actually,
I guess while we're
yeah.
on the subject of the Leafs and Bruins, we can just kind of stay on the series.
Yeah, so, all right. Before we get into last night's game, because that was also another great game, I want to talk to you...
All the games are going to be that way.
Oh, it's amazing. I want to talk to you about two players, one from each side. One's been suspended. The other, I don't know if anything happened with him.
Did we look that up?
I have, obviously, the one suspension.
Yeah.
The other, I literally have no clue. Do you mind looking that up? I honestly don't think anything even happened. Anyway, so of course I'm talking about Nazem Kadri and Jake DeBrusk incident that happened last Saturday night at TD Garden during Game 2 between the Leafs and the Bruins. Nazem Kadri, he's been suspended the rest of the series of the first round of this year's playoffs for cross-checking Jake DeBrusk in the head.
Ooh.
While Jake DeBrusk, I don't even know if he got a penalty. He had a knee-on-knee hit to...
He did.
Huh?
He did.
Oh, he did? Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. Knee-on-knee hit to
oh, wait, no.
Kadri as retaliation.
He might not have because in full speed, I think they just thought it was a collision. Or just a weird kind of fluky play that happened.
That pisses me off even more.
Because that's another thing that would go back to if you could replay certain penalties.
Right. That pisses me off.
Once they don't call that penalty, they don't go back to it.
But that really pisses me off even more because you can clearly see that was full-on intentional knee-on-knee. Not only that, but you know that DeBrusk has Kadri's number. Hell, everyone on Boston's lineup has Kadri's number for years now, and will always have his number until he retires.
And also, Kadri was going after... Jake DeBrusk because of a hit right before it.
Yeah.
Because he hit, what's his face into the glass and then quarter.
Muzzin?
Was it Muzzin?
I thought that was either DeBrusk, if not, I thought it was Pasternak maybe who rocked Muzzin into the glass. I think it was Muzzin.
No. That was in the corner of the bench. Like right before he
right
before
bench.
Right before the cross check. If you see the whole play right before it, he's retaliating for a hit that happened to one of his players.
Let me get to the video because I'm blanking right now. Because
it was a clean hit, but he still hit him into the corner.
Was it like a dangerous hit or anything? Or
if you can kind of find the play.
Hold on. I at least have.
I'm hoping this. I think it's just going to show the hit. But I don't know.
Oh, I see. He gets hit into the stanchion. That's why.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
and then he goes after him because the guy was hit into the stanchion.
Oh, it was Marley. That's also why.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marley gets rocked into the stanchion by Jake DeBrusk. Now, to be fair, that's definitely a penalty on DeBrusk's part.
It was a penalty, but I think it was still a clean hit. I don't know if there would have been any fine or suspension.
Well, because it takes me back to the... honestly,
no, the one Chara did
exactly.
Chara,
on Max Pacioretty 5 years ago,
like that.
Or whatever it was. It was in Montreal, and it was literally just almost the same exact hit, just the opposite side of the other stanchion in Montreal. He just rides him into the stanchion, and he got literally knocked out cold. That's what that hit reminded me of. Now, luckily, it looks like
if Kadri would have done this smarter or whatever and still wanted to go after DeBrusk because of the hit, just kind of drop the gloves or whatever.
Right, but it's also, Kadri. He's a dirty player. That's the type of move I'd expect.
A couple feet from him is Zdeno Chara. So
yeah, because that's a great freaking move. And of course, Chara, he actually looked back. He looked because trying to see what was happening. He looked back for a second, and he did a double take because he realized that DeBrusk was skating, and next thing you know, he was on the ground, or on the ice. So
there's also 2 other suspensions that I would say.
Yes,
Joe Thornton. Was suspended. I think he must have served that last night because they played last night, right? Sharks
They did not.
Or did they play tonight? Sharks.
I believe they played tonight, and I can watch the game. Yay!
Yeah, so he's suspended for tonight's game, and also this is a huge loss, but I don't know if he's Nikita Kucherov. Did he serve his suspension?
Here he served his suspension.
Oh, he did?
That was during Game 3.
Got it. I wasn't sure.
And obviously it paid.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if he served his suspension.
Yeah, no, it was only one game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, Kadri for the rest of the series, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't like how he plays this game.
Mm-hmm.
There's no room for that type of bullshit. I'm sorry, but
got his suspension.
Huh?
The next Shen suspension after his hit to
yeah. But no, seriously though, there's no need for that type of. I get it. Your teammate gets rocked into the stanchion.
He did the same thing last year too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you would think he would learn his lesson, but no, not even close.
No.
And
that's
DeBrusque, I think, I get it. You are pissed off, and you get cross-checked in the face. I would be pissed off too, but you could if the knee on knee hit was after the hit, the cross-check to the face, you gotta know that's retaliation. That's not it's an accident. That's pure on retaliation. I'm trying to take out your knee because you cross-checked me in the face. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that is retaliation. Nothing else. That deserves a 3-game suspension minimum because you were trying to wreck the guy's knee.
Mm-hmm.
I get he's a dirty player and all, but that right there, that's as low as Kadri's play.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And I like Jake DeBrusque's game and everything, but I hate the fact that I saw that play from that young player. It's not a good play at all from him. It really is.
There's also this problem too, because
what's that?
The Bruins are already short blue liners.
They are.
In that series, they went down to 4 defensemen.
Yeah.
In that game, at least, they did.
Yeah, you got that right.
Because there was that hit that Kadri did.
Yeah.
And then earlier in the game, someone else was
but Tampa. Toronto, they pulled out the victory.
Yeah.
3-2. Not only that, but we talked about Mitch Marner earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a nice big paycheck for this one. He sacrificed his body for not one, but 2 slap shots, basically back to back, literally bang, bang, like that in 5 milliseconds.
Try to lock him up as early as possible, too.
For a decent price.
Because...
guess what time it is, cat friendly.
Well, just because someone can offer sheet you. And
yes.
With the talent that Marner can bring you, they might
risk
a couple of first round.
Let me ask you this. What type of contract is Mitch Marner getting? Is he getting what Nazem Kadri has right now? Where he is 4 years left on his contract, $4.5 million each year. Is he getting what Marley has left on his contract? Obviously a couple more years, but $6.25 million.
I went to the wrong team.
Good job.
I went to the wrong blue team.
Did you go to Tampa?
No. Maybe.
Vancouver?
They were in the same division. They were right next to each other. They're blue.
Vancouver's technically blue.
Vancouver's not in the East.
Yeah, but you know what?
But I think lengthwise he gets Nylander and Matthews. I think he gets close.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that they had this separated by division.
Yeah. You didn't realize
that?
That
makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I'm just so used to just looking for teams. I don't pay attention to the top. Anyway, we said Nylander. Yeah, Nylander.
I think he gets Nylander, Matthews
for next year,
times.
right? Not.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying lengthwise.
Lengthwise.
But if
6 years,
seeing how he has moved to their second best player this season,
easily. Dude,
he
put up
jumped
90 points.
He jumped Matthews,
which I didn't think anything was possible like that.
I mean, the 2015 draft, man.
You're right, dude. That draft.
He went 3rd overall, right?
No. That was Strome.
5th or 4th.
4th or 5th.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Right. Did the Stars with or no?
I can tell you. Hold on. 6th overall.
6th. Okay.
Yeah. How do you go 6th overall if you're? Do you know what that means? The Flyers were 1 pick away from Mitch Marner. They're 1 pick away. But then they wouldn't have Ivan Provorov.
But they would have Mitch Marner.
But they would have had Mitch Marner.
But yeah, I think since he jumped Austin Matthews, he deserves Austin Matthews' money of $11 million. I don't think at the moment they can really afford that, so I think he's probably going to get closer to maybe Nylander kind of money.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. He did go fourth overall. My fault. Because I was looking at where they had the rankings for the top skaters. He was ranked 6th overall for a skater, but he did go fourth overall. Okay, that's my fault. I was like, yeah, that seems way too low for him.
Yeah.
Well,
or low.
Yeah, low.
But yeah, that.
So you would go the amount of years, and
he deserves Matthews' money. I'm saying, but I think he's probably going to get closer to Nylander's money only because they don't really.
Are you talking about the 10.2 or 6.9? 10.2.
6.9.
6.9. Okay, so 6.9 for 5 years.
Yeah. Or 7.
Or
seven. That might make it even to 7.
Honestly, I'd be good with that. I think that'd be a great deal for him. Mm-hmm. The only problem is, right now, you're only because I think they're going to lose Michael Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
1.3 mil. That gains you some money. You Ron already have 3.8 mil.
And you can.
I think you're gonna. Haynes is 3 mil. Look, that'll help.
You'll get rid of that, and even if you resign him, he's 38. You can send him to a little dinky thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, right this year, would you buy out Nathan Horton this year? Because he only has 1 year left on his contract.
If you're gonna do it at any time, and if you want to be sure he don't, I just gotta, okay.
What?
But just the email that popped up on my computer. But if you don't want to get an offer sheeted for Mitch Marner, and you want the money to be able to afford him, I would probably buy out Nathan Horton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you've been sitting on that contract forever, and now it's time to probably get rid of it. So.
Yeah.
And if you get rid of that, 5.3
mil.
That's 5.3 mil, and then
that's a huge chunk of what could be Marner's contract.
If you add Hainsey's 3 mil,
that's 8.3.
Yeah,
and then if you get rid of Hutchinson, 9 point. Math is hard. 9.6.
You can send that.
9.6 mil between those couple players.
You can give Nylander the 8, an 8 mil there, and then have a little more to Marner, and then use the little rest of it left for some of these other signings yet to do,
including Kasperi Kapanen. I think that's a big one. Also, Andreas Johnson,
and what you do with Jake Gardiner.
Honestly, I think
and then you have
Toronto might be a little screwed there. I think it's either a cheaper contract or he's walking.
Yeah,
I really do, because Marner is a bigger piece right now than Jake Gardiner. I like Jake Gardiner a lot. I really do. But Marner, he's 21, and he put up 90-some points this year.
Another thing positive.
Like 94, Marner, I think.
Positive to Marner to Matthews kind of thing. For the past 2 years, I feel Matthews has been because obviously the Stars kind of get double the treatment during the playoffs. But he kind of has been unnoticeable the past two, the first few games
Matthews?
of this series and last year's.
He did score last night's game, which helps. But no, I agree, though.
No goal was more important than Marner's goal.
Yes.
And Marner has been looking a lot better.
Oh, my God. It's me. Did you see his penalty shot in game 1?
Yeah.
Filthy. Mm-hmm. Absolutely disgusting.
I'm not shitting on Matthews.
Oh,
either.
Yeah. No,
because even Crosby's not doing well this playoff series either.
He is 0 points.
To that.
He was a -3 in game 3.
We'll get to that later.
Yes. Yeah. We also got the Tampa series to get to still.
Yeah.
I'm sad about
both
that.
of those two series.
I'm also pretty sad about that.
Because of your brackets?
Well, that, basically. But honestly, we'll get into that. Yeah. It makes you sad.
But yeah, so far, in that series at least, we're both wrong because Toronto is ahead.
Yeah.
But we both said it was going to 7. So
we did. And right now, all right.
Oh, wait, no, that was the... Okay,
all right. I kind of want a prediction time right now.
Okay.
With specifically the series, Toronto and Boston. So let's say if Toronto wins, it's not even really that much of a prediction. It's more just like I don't even know what to call it. So basically, let's say Game 4 is coming up.
Hypothetical.
Basically, it's more of a hypothetical situation. Game 4 is coming up in a few days in Toronto. If Toronto wins that game, where does that put them? You know, like obviously they're up 3-1 in the series, but like, what are their odds of making it to like?
This would be my thinking.
Yeah,
is
because you know what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah. If they win, you're saying in their next game.
Because their next game,
and then you're
home,
at 3-1.
You're at 3-1. You're going into Boston for Game 5. What are their odds of winning Game 5 and just ending it there?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they lose Game 5, and if they would to win, it'd be at home.
At home, okay. No, I can see that.
Just because Game 6, I would feel like they would then possibly win.
Yeah, but honestly, I think. Do you know how awesome it would be for Toronto to not only make it past the first round, but to beat Boston?
And if they can
this rivalry, how intense it is now,
skip out on Tampa Bay if they were to lose.
Literally, that's almost all right.
Because then they have.
Then again, it's not as we've seen in these playoffs. Anything can happen, but
it's
not a guaranteed ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. But
it's a pretty
good shot. But then again, look at Tampa and wait, hold on. I need the bracket. I need the bracket. Because if you go to NHL.com,
they would play Columbus. So.
They would play Columbus? Okay.
Yeah, the bracket's literally Columbus, Tampa Bay. The next round, it's literally you either play Boston or Toronto.
Okay, hold on. Where's this bracket?
If you go to NHL, you click on playoffs.
Playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, because the way right now, Columbus is up 3-0. I don't know how that's happening, but
I have a theory.
I would love to hear this. But either way, Toronto, if they win. So if they're up 3-1, you're saying they would lose Game 5, but win.
I
on
could
home
see
ice.
them then
You can see
taking
them.
the
Okay.
series. But at the same time, I'm not going to count Boston out of it
either. I think it's I'm kind of with you there.
Experience-wise and better goaltending-wise, because the same.
Freddie Anderson has been playing much better than I expected him to.
Besides the one goal he gave up.
Yes. I haven't watched a whole lot of this series, which I'm really disappointed in, but just things have been hectic and oh my God.
I've kind of been the same way. I've only saw like the third period of
it's so tough. Yeah. But my schedule the next literally month is going to be hell for me. So I'm like, well, this sucks because playoff hockey, but I also need sleep. So.
Right. Which one do you care more about, Jeff?
Hockey.
That's what I thought.
But so Toronto, if they're up 2-1, the winner of the Boston-Toronto series faces the winner of Tampa, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Things are not looking good at all for the Bolts. I don't know if they can survive. I really don't.
I do.
Because it's unlikely.
Didn't they lose the first 2 games against the Devils last year?
No. They either split them or won. I think they won both.
Oh, I thought they won. I thought they at least lost one of them.
Yeah. But there are 2 different teams. Sorry, I should say 4 different teams, but 2 different playoff series that we are going to break into right now from different years and everything.
And the reason why, because I just kind of said this to you before we got on the podcast, and the reason why I bring this up is because I'm going to say this, that this Lightning's team is better than both the Flyers team in 2010 and the Kings team, arguably.
No, 100% way better than the Kings team. 100%. Because you got the Kings roster for 2014? All right. So, because what we're going to do right now is compare the Flyers-Boston 2010 series, Eastern Conference semifinals. I have the season, the playoff series, the regular season record.
They still had...
and the games, and also the rosters.
They still had Justin Williams then.
Yeah. And then while you have...
Marian Gaborik, Jake Muzzin, Tyler Toffoli.
We'll get into that.
Sorry.
I know you're excited, but yeah. Trust mine too. But
no, I was just saying this team, arguably, I was going to say this Kings team is probably closer just because of Kopitar, Doughty, and Quick to being...
I know what you're saying. We'll get into that first. Let's get into Flyers Boston.
No, I was just saying in general, if I was going to believe a team that can come back, I think this Bolts team is better than both the teams that came back in those series.
I that's the point.
I'm trying to
I thought you were saying that.
No, Martin Jones was their backup then too.
Yeah, that makes me laugh. So I thought you were saying that that the LA Kings roster 2014 was better than Tampa roster.
No, I was
That's
saying,
why I was laughing. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, sorry.
Okay.
That's not.
All right, that's
not the point I was trying to make. I was trying to make the point that
I'm glad you got the point out because I was so lost. I thought you were saying that the Kings roster is better than Tampa. I was like, wait, what?
Because I am probably the one person maybe besides Tampa Bay fans that think they'll come back.
I really hope so because even if they lose the series, I just want them to win one freaking game.
Didn't Victor Hedman just come back for the last game, or is he still
was out last game? Because that was another huge loss. Because Kucherov was suspended for that game, and Hedman was a game time decision.
If you can get Hedman back,
I think no matter what he'll go because it's win or go home.
Just do the same thing Carlson did for a lot of Senators.
Yeah, just play on one leg.
Play on one leg, shoot you up with a lot of painkillers.
But
shoot it during your in your knee or wherever you're hurting during intermission.
And you'll be good.
Yeah,
just don't get hit in the foot with a puck or a slash.
Right.
But yeah, so
if you get those two guys back, well, they're obviously going to get Kucherov back. They're still this team's still better than the Blue Jackets.
Right, that's why I'm so confused on why Tampa Bay's down 3-0.
Because they thought what everyone else thought, which is, this is going to be a cakewalk.
And you could tell from game 1, they were up 3-0 like that.
And then they had that, we're going to get this easily. But once you get into them, sometimes that can work where you're like, this team's nothing. But then there's this situation, or even if you want to go to the NBA-wise, the Sixers, I could say, is the same way as why they lost game 1 against the Nets.
Yeah. And then they blew them out game 2.
Exactly.
They put up 142 some points. How do you do that? They almost got...
If there was a team that I think could put the equivalent to NHL-wise of 142 points, it is the team that's tied the record, or at least maybe tied the record for the most wins in a season.
I really hope so. Even if Tampa, for some reason, loses the series, I hope not. But if they do... just win one game at a time. Remember Laviolette's the one timeout, one goal at a time? This is it, one game at a time, boys. So,
but that's kind of why I wanted to bring up these other two teams.
And we will, because I want to break this
obviously
down more.
The big difference is the Capitals being not the underdog. They're the team.
Stanley Cup champions. Yeah. They're the team to beat.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Unlike the Flyers that were the underdogs, and I would...
Well, because Flyers are huge underdogs because...
I was going to say, who was the underdog in the Sharks-Kings?
Probably...
I would say
it was the Kings. No, it was the Kings because they were an 8th seed.
Oh, yeah, they were.
That's why it was such a big deal because they were the first 8th seed to win the Cup, I believe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong because I think they were an 8th seed as well in 2012.
Sharks were 5th.
Yeah, but still... but Flyers, Boston first, and then we'll, of course, break down Sharks and Kings for 2014. So, game 1, it was neck and neck. Boston wins 5-4. Game 2, Boston wins 3-2. Game 3 was a crapshoot, 4-1 Boston, and then out of nowhere, Flyers down 3-0 before they know it. Simone Gagne gets a game back. Every time Flyers then shut out Boston game 5 4-0. Suddenly, it's 3-2. And if you're a Flyers fan, you're feeling good. You're feeling the momentum. You're feeling it. You're like, all right, this is awesome. We have a chance. Not saying we can win this.
Yeah.
We still have 2 more games to win. Not just 1, but 2. Boston's saying, okay, it's time to, relax a little bit. We're struggling here. It's time to. We're not yet in panic mode, but we're getting there if we're not too careful. Out of nowhere, Flyers win game 6, force at game 7. We're like, oh my God, what is happening?
And then game 7 itself is literally just
it was literally
a recap
exploded.
of the whole series.
It literally was. It was
they were down
Lucic, Ryder, Lucic. Yeah. And it was
back
my God.
When Lucic was actually kind of good.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the little guy he is in Edmonton.
And after that third Lucic goal, it's like you can feel Boston almost parting. It was like a Stanley Cup for them, right? It was like, all right, finally we got the nightmares away.
The stadium was rocking, and that's the one thing I remember is that the Wells Fargo Center, which was I think still the Wachovia Center then.
It was like the final year.
Got fans in.
Yeah,
they let fans in.
That was cool. And
for game 7,
and you had JVR's first career NHL playoff goal.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fluke, but hey, if it goes in, it goes in. It counts. Who cares? It goes in. It went in.
And this was a very young Claude Giroux too.
It was like this
he
is his second
more in the Blackhawks series, but
he did.
Still,
this is his second full season.
Yeah,
and he looked great.
Mm-hmm. This was his coming out playoff series.
It was. He didn't have any goals this game.
No,
actually, this he only had one goal the entire series, but he still was very
effective.
Why I
said
of course.
The Blackhawks series is where he took off.
Yeah, no, even the Montreal series, he did pretty good. But and then
true.
2011 Buffalo series.
I always forget Montreal was in between Boston and Chicago.
Yeah,
because the Flyers kind of beat them pretty handily.
Oh, it was crazy. But then so the Flyers out of nowhere, get a goal from JVR, and then Hartnell was like, oh wow, it's 3-2. It's like just like this. Briere ties up. Oh, we're tied. I'm like, all right, just
Then he did his patented fist bump or whatever you want to call it, his celebration.
Yes. And then Simon Gagne, 7:12 remaining, takes the lead.
Flyer ever.
And if you're a Flyers fan at this point, your emotions are all over the place because you are just saying, oh no, I'm just waiting for it to happen. The moment where Boston ties it up and literally wins in the final minute, if not in overtime.
Right.
And that's going to be it.
Yep.
But that never happened. And the Flyers win the series and Game 7 4-3. But if you look at the regular season, and I'll get to that in a second. Go ahead.
Question.
As you're raising your hand, go for it.
Can you go over goaltending in that series?
Yeah.
Does it show who started each game?
Yeah, so it was an interesting...
Because it was
not
Leighton
each game.
It was Leighton and Boucher.
Yes, because Boucher started... I know for a fact he started the first 4. And then in Game 5, Boucher got hurt, and in came Leighton, and he closed out... Because Boucher let in... Boucher had a shutout going in Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
It was a shared shutout, and then he had Leighton had a shutout going in Game 6 until Boston scored. Game 7, he looked horrible, and then luckily shaped things up. Tuukka Rask was in net all series long because Tim Thomas, he had some sort of injury.
Right,
that kept him out.
That was the start of Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, that literally showed
from being a backup to
a full
quality.
starter potential, and he looked superb.
Almost
perfection.
Even when they did win the cup the next year.
They did. Tim Thomas was
Thomas.
Yeah.
But they still had Tuukka.
They did. But so it was definitely a great series and crazy. So regular seasons in general, the Flyers were 41-35-6. They were 500. Mm-hmm. And yet they got in the playoffs at the last day. Literally, if your record is 41-35-6 now, there's no way in hell you're making the playoffs. Even if you have Boston's record, 39-30-13 of win percentage of .476, you're still not making the playoffs. That's worse than the Flyers. And that's amazing how that happened. But, hey, I don't know. But, it was crazy. But, and if you looking back at that season, here are some of the main pieces for the Flyers. You had Danny Briere, Jeff Carter,
Chris
Pronger, Simon Gagne, Claude Giroux, even Scott Hartnell. He was 27 at the time. He was breaking out. And that was a good season for him.
Right, because wasn't that the start of the Briere?
Briere, Lano, Hartsey line, yeah.
Or was that 2012?
No, that was 2010. Because we only had Lano from 2010 and 2011, and that was it for him. Then he went to Buffalo. For Lano,
that long contract for
yes.
That still blows my mind.
Yes. Mike Richards, of course, Kima Tiemann, and a rookie in James Van Riemsdyk.
Mm-hmm. And a young Claude Giroux.
Yes. And you had Brian Boucher in net, and then you had a mix up between him, Ray Emery, and Michael Leighton.
Yep.
You even had Johan Backlund at one point. So that was the Flyers roster. For Boston, the key pieces, Patrice Bergeron, Johnny Boychuk, Zdeno Chara, Andrew Ference he still had.
That was Boychuk when he was still good.
Yes. David Krejci.
Mm-hmm.
And this changed the series. Game 3, it was on one of the final goals that Boston scored. A blue line pass from Krejci up to whoever scored the goal, who went on a breakaway, a great backhanded goal against Boucher. He got rocked. And I mean, lights out rocked by Mike Richards. That took out Krejci for the rest of the series. If Richards didn't make that hit and Krejci was still in, I think Boston could have easily swept.
Right.
So that hit literally changed the entire series. Krejci, he left that game right then and there. He did not come back. And that was a huge turning point. You also had Milan Lucic, Brad Marchand, Adam McQuaid, Tuukka Rask, Mark Recchi.
Oh, yeah.
And he tied the game up with like a minute left in Game 4 to send it to overtime. Michael Ryder, Miroslav Shatan, Mark Savard, who all year long, who's 32, then all year long had concussion issues thanks to Matt Cook in a very illegal hit.
Oh, yeah.
He came back and won Game 1, 6-5 in overtime. An unbelievable shot. It really was. It couldn't do anything about it. You had Dennis Seidenberg, Vladimir Sobotka, Marcus Sturm, Tim Thomas. They had Blake Wheeler. How do you give up Blake Wheeler? I want to look it up.
I could say the same thing about say again. I could say the same thing about Dougie Hamilton. I could say the same thing about Joe Thornton.
I love it. This is when the
I could say the same thing about trading a third-round pick for Zach Ronaldo.
This is when the Bruins sent Blake Wheeler and Mark Stewart to the Atlanta Thrashers in exchange for Rich Peverley and Boris.
Rich Peverley was in that trade,
Rich
too?
Peverley was in that trade. And Boris Velebek. I don't even know who that is. Yeah, that's just... Wow.
Yeah. But this was completely different. But I wonder how Flyers fans, some Flyers fans, feel about Mark Recchi in general.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, he's amazing. I actually got to meet him one time during my internship, and I had a little moment to myself where I passed in the hall, and there was only enough room for like one person to walk by, so I let the guy go, and I didn't recognize him at first. I'm like, go ahead, sir. He goes, oh, thanks, buddy. You gives me a pat on the shoulder. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Walked away, and literally, I took 2 seconds. I walked. I stopped. I turned around, turned back. I'm like, holy shit, that was Mark Recchi. Because he was an assistant coach for the Wilkes-Barre Penguins at the time, and it just made my day. I was like, oh, my God, I just met Rex, and this is awesome. But I don't know why people – because Recchi – dude, do you realize he's won at least 3 cups? One with Carolina, one with Pittsburgh back in the 90s, I believe, and one in 2011 with Boston. And that's the end of his career. Right. But he was a hell of a player. And then the other player you could argue was a decent player was Dennis Wideman for Boston that year. But that's what I said you could argue. So those are some key players, of course. So right away, you could tell Boston is easily outmatching Philly. They should have outmatched them. They were. And then, again, that Krejci hit that happened on him, that was a big change, the turning point. But yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, boy.
I have a theory of why the Sharks went after and got Martin Jones.
What was that? I would love to hear it.
Because the Sharks lost to
the
Kings that had Martin Jones as a backup. Who are their goalies for the Sharks that series? Niemi and Alex Stalock. Those were their goalies. And then they got
Martin Jones.
From the Bruins, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because it was a weird trade.
Because it was like a 3-team.
Boston. I accidentally typed in Martin trade. I'm like, that doesn't help.
But while you're looking up that, we can now look back towards the 2013-14 series and the 2014 Western Conference first round, which is similar, less so than the Flyers one because that was the second round.
Yes.
This one was in the first round. Similar kind of situation that the Lightning found themselves in. But this was a Kings team that went 46-28-8 and won the cup. And the Sharks team, that was 51-22-9 that year.
Wow.
In the first game, the Sharks won 6-3. The second game was kind of a blowout, 7-2 Sharks. And then the third game, it went to overtime, and the Sharks won 4-3. Then it started heavily favoring the Kings. None of these other games were even close. Game 4, well, I guess maybe you can kind of say Game 4. Game 4, 6-3 Kings, and then the Kings shut out the Sharks in Game 5, 3-0, and only gave up two goals in the last 2 games.
Really?
They won 4-1 in Game 6 and 5-1 in Game 7.
It's just that because I remember them dominating Game 7.
Well, it was also because Jonathan Quick took over the series.
That's right.
Similarly to Fleury taking over the series playoffs last year.
Yeah. There goes my mic.
But surprisingly, besides little things here and there, both teams are the Sharks team is, other than adding Carlson and a couple other things, they're pretty much the same team. And losing Marleau. They don't have Marleau anymore, but they have Pavelski, Hurdle, Brett Burns, Joe Thornton, Logan Couture, Vlasic, Justin Braun. Notable players in the series was for the Sharks was Thornton, Horton, Hurdle, Marleau,
Hurdle the Turtle,
Vlasic, Torres, Couture, obviously, Nito.
Yeah.
For the Kings, it's changed a little because they've kind of fallen off because they don't have Tanner Pearson anymore.
Yeah.
They also don't have Willie Mitchell anymore either. Mike Richards no more either. But Jake Muzzin they just got rid of in a trade this year. But they still have Dustin Brown, which I'm pretty sure he was still the captain then.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Kopitar, Doughty, Quick, Williams, Jeff Carter. But if we're looking at the Sharks, or not Sharks, wow. That was kind of the 2014 series. Both teams are pretty much the same, but for this one, it's really different. Not really different, kind of similar in those ones, but other than Game 1 and Game 3 of this series, the Lightning, the Lightning Blue Jackets, they're pretty close because Game 1, 4-3 Blue Jackets. Second game, it was a blowout, 5-1 Columbus, and last game was just a 3-1 game, 3-1 finish.
Yeah.
So the series has been, other than Game 2, relatively close.
Yeah, so they really were.
If it still kind of goes that way, then I could still see it maybe starting to go Lightning way if they can kind of find some momentous thing, whether it's like Mike Richards and a hit, whether it's like Jonathan Quick and standing on his head, something like that. Something that kind of sparks them.
Yep. Speaking of the Kings,
because that's the one thing they said everyone was missing is kind of that Wayne Simmons kind of ability or player caliber of Wayne Simmons power forward wise, where they can a hit from him or whatever it can kind of change the momentum. That's the one thing this Lightning team is missing.
I agree.
That's the one thing that
that's why I'm kind of expecting more out of like Orion Callahan or Alex Killorn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like to make a big play like that and step up and
when Hedman comes back, that's huge.
That really is, and that's a huge step. Really quickly,
because some pressure is off of McDonough now.
Yes, that I agree with. The LA Kings officially agreed to terms on a multi-year contract for Todd McClellan. I hate you.
My first move is to hire Jeff Quick as an assistant.
All right.
General manager.
Bang, bang. Assistant to the general manager. That's the only term I'll accept. Is if it's assistant general manager, forget it.
You'll be number 2. I'll be the secret assistant regional manager.
So
let's just call it the secret assistant to the regional manager.
Okay, all right.
Are you up for the job?
Hmm?
Are you up for the job? Absolutely.
Absolutely, I am. But you're asking about the Martin Jones trade history?
Yes. I think we've said there's multiple.
Want to hear something
podcasts.
really funny?
Yes, I do. Did that trade happen the next year?
No. So the Kings acquired Milan Lucic for Martin Jones, a 2015 first-round pick, and also Colin Miller. And then the Bruins traded 4 days later Martin Jones to the Sharks for Sean Curley and a 2016 first-round pick.
Because that was when they had the 3 in a row, right? Or was that 2015 they had that?
That might have been 2015.
That was 2015, right? Because they could have picked, right. They could have picked
Konechny.
Sebastian Aho, but I don't think anyone would have taken him after the second round.
No, because no one was smart except for Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Second time around, Carolina.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's more like it. Speaking of which, Carolina is back in the series.
Mm-hmm.
They won Game 3 last night, 5-0 at home. What a game that was!
It's.
I think still the Caps.
I think it might have
been
been one of those things where the Hurricanes are home again for once in a playoff series.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of a momentous thing that happened.
I agree. It
was the thing that I had a feeling was going to happen, and why I said
I was kind of just waiting for it,
which is why I thought this series was going to go 5 games.
Yeah.
Still think the rest is going to go low.
That's fair. Yeah, I have a weird feeling this one's still going to go 7. I can't remember who I said.
You said Caps.
I said Caps.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I have a feeling like
the only thing we differed on was the Flame series.
Yes, that's right.
I'm right.
Get out of here.
So far.
Leave me alone. Yeah, so far. Anyway, yeah. So I think it's a great game for the Hurricanes. They needed momentum to go into Game 4, and they got it. And it's,
that's kind of.
Do you know what's crazy? They're already doing better than Tampa Bay.
True, you can say that about a lot of teams.
And Pittsburgh.
Right. But a lot of teams are that way when it changes home field. Sometimes that does.
Home ice.
Whatever. That does change the landscape. Like, once you leave Nashville and go to Dallas, that's a different kind of feeling. What?
It's a pin drop. compared to Nashville.
Even though Nashville's up 2-1, they still split in Nashville.
Which was
That's
amazing.
Huge.
That's amazing.
You split in Smashville.
Which is didn't
playoff time Smashville.
Yeah. Not even just Smashville, playoff time Smashville. So.
Yeah. But the big thing that came out of, I think, out of their last game was Ovi dropping the gloves.
Yeah, I really want to bring this up. I'm glad you did. So, Alexander Ovechkin absolutely pummeled Andrei Svechnikov in a fight. And there's a little controversy to what really happened. Yes, that one. So, Rod Brindamore on if Svechnikov asked Ovi to fight, or if Svechnikov asked, to fight Ovi, the quote was, "There are 2 versions of that going around. I'll just leave it at that." And Ovechkin said, "He asked me to fight. I said, yeah, let's go." Brindamore obviously wasn't really buying what Ovi was selling, because let's be clear here. Ovechkin is an inch taller and 40 pounds heavier than the rookie for Carolina. Mm-hmm. He's also 14 years on him in the NHL. But here's probably the quote of the day by Rod Brindamore. One guy's gloves comes off way first, and that's Ovi, not our guy. So it's a little bit frustrating because he got hurt. It's his first fight. He's played 90 games. He's never fought in his life. I'm pretty sure Ovi knew that. So that stuff bothers me. And that was a quote by Rod Brindamore post game after Carolina's 5-0 win. But still, because you might lose Svechnikov, because I don't know if he'll be healthy for Game 4 or not, or what, but we'll see what happens. But so obviously Brindamore was not happy.
I mean, you're never really expecting Ovi to be the one that dropped the gloves either.
Right, but he got
his defense.
Yeah.
I mean, he does hit less so now.
Yes.
For most of his career, he's been he always liked to throw the body around, but less so now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of why they have the human trash can known as Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that drops the gloves. Ovechkin scores. Wilson drops the gloves.
True.
And let's just move on to the last series in the East. That's Jeff's favorite right now, I think.
Yes.
The Penguins are down 3-0.
Yeah, and
it's a surprise to me.
And
yeah,
the Islanders have a chance to clinch tonight. Not only that, but the sweep.
Yeah.
How the hell is this happening?
I don't know.
I Pittsburgh winning in 6. Pittsburgh should be winning in 6.
That's what I thought.
Right now, it should either be 2-0, if not even 3-0 Pittsburgh. Not 3-0 Islanders. No offense to them, but by the way, Matt Barzal.
The first game.
Sorry.
The first game was close. It was a 4-3
overtime.
The second game was 3-1 Islanders, and the third game was 4-1 Islanders.
Yeah.
The Penguins aren't scoring right now.
No. Crosby has 0 points.
He was
-3 in Game 3.
Yep.
Dude,
no goals.
He did so well on the final day of the Masters.
There you go.
Didn't. I had to say it.
Couldn't help yourself.
I really couldn't.
Nope. They obviously play tonight as well.
Yes, 7:30 game. That one's on NBCS. And Lightning Blue Jackets, 7 o'clock CNBC.
Who do you think has a better chance out of the Penguins and Lightning to
not get swept?
To come back and win the series?
Oh, Lightning, hands down.
Okay.
I think if anything, Pittsburgh, they would lose in 5.
I could see it being like a Flyers situation last year, 6. Something pushes them to a 6 game.
Yeah.
And then they lose in 6.
Okay. I was like, hold on, what?
Because remember that first few games were awful for the Flyers, and somehow they were able to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Couturier took them to 6.
Yeah.
And then they lost game 6, not even close.
Leave me alone.
But the only reason that's a toss-up for me, because the Lightning are obviously the better team, but I think the Penguins are playing the lesser of the teams.
Yeah.
But I will give it to Lightning because,
and again, that's just why I'm so shocked that Tampa Bay's down 3-0. Look at their talent.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, is their talent that this team has.
Andre Palat, Andre Vasilevsky, Braden Point, Steven Stamkos. You have Nikita Kucherov. You have Ryan McDonough. Even as a backup,
you have Danik Martel.
Yeah, Danik Martel. I love Danik.
Did he say Point?
Yeah, I already mentioned Point.
You have Vasilevsky.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still under the thinking.
Even as a depth player, you have Ryan Callahan.
Also, here's this other thing they have going for them. Braden Coburn was on that Flyers team that came back.
He was.
If there's anyone that can say, okay, guys.
That's a great point. As much as I'm not a fan of Braden Coburn, that's an excellent point.
Because he's like one guy that's done it before.
I've been here before. I know exactly what this is like. Honestly, and he's going to get another chance because it sounds like Hedman is not expected to return for Game 4. Because that's what it says on Hockey Reference's injury report, and they usually update that pretty much.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Oh, I'm dumb. That was from 3 days ago. Okay, so, yeah, don't listen to me. Let me... I know a guy who to go to...
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Mr. Joe Smith for the Athletic, who covers Tampa Bay. He hasn't... Okay. Oh, nope. No Strawman or Hedman tonight. So he's officially out.
Okay.
Killorn is a game time decision. So that means Braden Coburn is definitely playing.
Mm-hmm.
JT Miller's on the second power play. Also, they have him. They have Anthony Cirelli as well.
this team is depth.
Here's they have Mikhail Sergachev, they have Dan Girardi. Cernak is not bad.
I mean,
Jan Rudza.
Still, that's kind of what my point.
Adam Erne, sorry. Secretary Paquette. Oh, I'm missing someone. It is Yanni Gord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those lines are nuts.
Oh,
yeah.
Did my laptop go off on you?
No.
I was just confused why you were looking at your laptop.
No, yeah, no. Oh,
your on laptop. Your phone.
But here's an interesting. Well, it was just easier for
Yeah.
me. But here's an interesting line. You Steven Stamkos, Anthony Cirelli, and Nikita Kucherov as a combo, as a top combo, I should say, with Kucherov, yeah, and Stamkos on the wing, Cirelli centering. So they're trying to spread out. Oh, you also have Tyler Johnson. I forgot about him.
At this point, I know you just lost Hedman or whatever, but
yeah,
I guess the top pair you go what? Strawman, McDonough?
No, Strawman's probably gonna be out.
Oh, right, you said. So who's the top pair? McDonough and who?
Paul, let me go back to it.
Sergachev?
Probably. 1 second, sorry. I closed out of it because I thought we were done, but that's my bad.
Because my thing was going to
be Sergachev and Girardi, and then you have McDonough, Cernak, and then Coburn and Rutza.
Why is Girardi ahead of McDonough?
Because that's a dumb pairing.
Because he's the veteran. He's a 34-year-old.
Genius.
What I would do if I was the coach is you're already your team is already so stacked already. Yeah. Stack up the first line, second line, your best players. Okay. I don't care if you're a center, winger, or whatever.
Yeah. And then Killorn, he's a leg injury, and his status is uncertain at this time.
Yeah.
So he's literally, again, like Hedman was for Game 4, he's game time decision.
Right. But still, I could see them still taking this game.
Okay. As long as they win one, I'll be happy with that.
You still have Vasilevsky.
Yeah. It's
to play in front of.
I don't know how, but literally this team. Well, actually, all right. So, and I'll put it this way: this is my theory for why Tampa Bay is down 3-0 to Columbus. The only reason they're down right now is because look at all the work they did to get here during the regular season. They burned themselves out. They tied the record for 62 wins in the regular season. And 128, whatever points in the regular season. They won the President's Trophy. Also, it's the President's Trophy curse.
Yeah.
But the last time the President's Trophy winner, 2013, was Chicago Blackhawks. That was the last time the President's Trophy winner won the cup. But I just think, if anything, they're burning themselves out.
Maybe.
Because look at all they did just to get here to this point.
Did they not listen to me and tell me to rest your players when you knew you had this big of a lead?
Honestly, I really don't think so.
Damn it, John. Listen to me. Listen to me.
You gotta listen to the Witmer. Not only that, but this is what happens.
This is what happens when you hurt McDonough or Hedman because he played in one of the games.
Yeah,
because wasn't it like in a fighter or something like he was?
I don't even know.
No, he was hit. He got hit into the boards or something.
That's right.
That's what it was. He was hit into the boards, and he was already like kind of injury a little bit earlier in the season. Has had kind of concussion problems in the past. Yeah. So I think we're pretty much a guarantee in the playoffs here. I don't really care about this record. Why don't we just rest Hedman because we need him for the playoffs?
Genius. No. Come on, man.
Maybe get him into a game or two just so he's not rusty, but still rest
him. Come
on,
man.
You have him.
All right. Anyway, so that's how that's going.
Thank you for joining my hockey TED Talk.
In the West, the Nashville Predators, as we mentioned, are up 2-1. They won last night 3-2, and then the Colorado. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There is one thing we can say about this series too. Wayne Simmons out week to week.
Same thing with Brian Boyle. Brian Boyle, he's out for like an appendix procedure, which is scary.
2 of the pieces you traded for the trade deadline.
That kind of hurts.
Depth-wise, yeah.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And power play-wise.
Exactly.
I don't know where actually Simmons was on the power play.
I don't know. But, dude, did you see Brian Boyle's hit in like game 1 or 2 against the Stars player?
Oh, yeah.
He pummeled that guy. Oh, my God. He just lights out.
And then you also have just moving on from that series because that's kind of the bigger one. The series is now in Dallas.
Calgary and
You're doing okay. I was doing the bracket.
You're doing the bracket. I'm sorry.
I was looking at the bracket.
I was wondering how you're doing this.
It's Winnipeg and St. Louis, which St. Louis has a 2-1 lead over Winnipeg.
Yes.
I still think Winnipeg can come out. Now I think it's probably going to go to a 6-7 game series.
I think so, yeah. And that game 4 for Winnipeg, St. Louis. In St. Louis, CNBC 9:30 tonight. So that'll be a good one there. Again, the winner of the Stars Prez meets the winner of the Jets and the Blues.
And I'm right in the series. The Colorado Avalanche have a 2-1 lead.
They're leading. They're not. They didn't win this. They're leading. I said Calgary, by the way. That's why I'm getting angry. Because
it's the one difference we had.
It actually was.
But
you would.
Here's a dumb thing. They started Mike Smith. The Flames started Mike Smith. But he did do well in the first game.
Yes.
I will give him
I was going to say, to be fair, dude, he
but
flat out dominated game 1.
You also can't really trust. I guess here's the probably reason why they started Mike Smith is because
playoff experience, playoff veteran, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that. But also, you can't trust Mike Smith.
Yeah. Well, who's even their backup? I can't remember now. But I will say, I will give Smith a lot of credit. He looked superb in game 1. It was awesome. He really deserved that shutout. But while you're looking that up, last night, Colorado handed it to Calgary 6-2. But in the first period, in his first NHL playoff game, in the first round, Cale Makar, the rookie, scores his first career NHL goal, which is the first career playoff goal.
Their backup is David Riddick.
Oh, Riddick. Okay. I like Riddick. He's good.
They kind of split time during the season, both Riddick and Smith.
Yeah.
His goals against during the season was a 2.61 goals against, 9.11 save percentage. Smith's was 2.73 goals against and 8.98 save percentage.
Okay. Dang. That's pretty crazy. Who would you start for game 4? Riddick? Yeah. Okay.
That game was last night, right?
It was, unfortunately. I love that series. That's awesome.
Hold on. I just want to see something.
Yeah. Where are you looking up? Here's the Wild 72 hours. Well, technically, however many hours now, or 90 hours, whatever you can call it, since for Cale Makar.
Okay.
April 12th, Makar won the Hobie Baker Award for Best College Player. And the next night, April 13th, he played in an NCAA championship game. Unfortunately, the UMass lost to UMD 2-0 or 3-0, I think. April 14th, signed a 3-year entry-level contract with Colorado. And then last night, of course, he scores his first career NHL goal. Just unbelievable. Yes, Mike.
I know why they won.
Why is that?
Because the Avalanche top line, their only line, did really well. McKinnon had 3 points.
Well, that'll do it.
Landeskog had an assist. Nito had 2 points. Rantanen had 2 points. But the thing I was looking up was if they switched at all, but it looked like Smith played the whole game. So if I had to guess, it'd probably be Smith again. And if they lose 6-2 again or like a blowout kind of thing, then it might go, they might switch up. But if I'm going to take a guess here and say it's Smith again.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly because of game 1.
Right. I hate to really kind of jump back to the East for a second, but the Nationwide Arena Twitter page, this is, wow.
Hockey.
So 7 hours ago, again, if you don't know Nationwide Arena, it's the Columbus Blue Jackets arena. They tweeted this out. Friendly reminder, I can't talk today, sorry. Security has asked us to remind you that due to safety concerns, you cannot bring a broom into the arena tonight. What do you think of that tweet?
Similar to John Turley saying last year that they're going to win Game 3.
Exactly. You just don't, because it's going to come back and bite you. That's what I hate about, all right, back when there's no internet and, well, obviously, you know what I mean. Like, there's no Twitter, there's no Everyone checks the internet and is based off of that nowadays. Back in 94, when Mark Messier said, we're winning Game 6, that's one thing. But now it's like, they're almost expecting to sweep Tampa Bay. If I was Tampa Bay, if I was any member of the Lightning, I saw that would piss me off. Even more than already being down 3-0.
That's the one thing that the team going down needs is the
It's literally motivation.
Yeah.
100% motivation
going into the game.
Yeah. So if I were to say that, I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? It's not even Game 4. It hasn't even played, and they're saying they're going to sweep us. Let's kick their ass on this one. And it's a kick in the ass for them. And oh, man. Honestly, whoever tweeted that out for Nationwide Arena, that's a pretty ballsy tweet. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of that tweet. I don't like that. It's like the series hasn't won yet. No. Sure, your odds are fantastic right now to, you have
like 90% of the time it's probably going to happen.
Exactly. Like literally, all you have to do is win one game. They have to win 4 in a row.
I'd probably say maybe more 95-ish.
I would say 95, yeah. But still, either way, 95% odds of moving to the second round. Yeah. I don't know.
And the last series.
The Sharks and the Golden Knights. This is a great series as well. That one you can catch on tonight. Yes.
The first game was 5-2 Sharks.
Yes.
Game 2, 5-3 Vegas, and the last one, 6-3 Vegas.
Yep. And it's 2-1 Vegas right now.
Yep. And they will be without Joe Thornton.
Yes, he is a 1-game suspension. What did Thornton do? Because I missed that.
Cross check to the head.
What the hell is with these? Oh, I did hear about that. I lied. What's with all these stupid cross checks to the head? It's like, come on.
I don't know.
It's the worst.
Why was Voracek suspended for 2 games? I don't have the answers for you, Jeffrey.
Why was he suspended 2 games?
Jake Voracek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got confused for a second.
Yeah, but that is the playoffs. Playoffs?
Talking about playoffs? Playoffs? We got to win a game first. Sorry, that was my horrible impression.
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Well, thanks. All right, time to go to the hospital then.
Yeah, but I think just do a little wrap up here. But the Flyers hired Vigneault, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's really big.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge.
I'll put it this way. This is besides Quenneville.
Oh yeah,
this is the next best coach you could probably get.
Here's another side fact for you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Know the last time the Flyers won a playoff series?
2012.
Know how long it's been since then? 7 years.
7 years?
It's going on 7 years.
Yeah, leave me alone.
I am with Mitch on this now because Mitch was kind of going this way too because he was like, because he's normally into the draft and everything. He said he's not really into it now because he wants the Flyers to be good. He doesn't want like this either man team or kind of good team. He wants the Flyers, and I also agree. I want the Flyers to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this hiring is sounding to me more and more like this Flyers are going to try to do anything to try to compete now.
I agree.
And that's going. All right, I guess we can talk about this on a later podcast or whatever, or probably closer to. I'll save it for when we do our free agent podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
But until then, I'll give you a little cliffhanger there, people.
Didn't.
But until then, we'll see you.